everybody and welcome back to another On The Table video, guys. So, what are we going to be looking at this time? Well, I've been quite busy, guys. I've been quite a busy bee indeed, doing a lot of painting recently. I've kind of been on a bit of a painting binge, I'm not going to lie. Repaints and some new paintings, some new painted miniatures as well. It's probably just best if I just crack on and start with things. So, first and foremost, guys, I'm going to be showing you what I have done so far with my Glot Knight, as I'm affectionately calling him, and here he is so far. Nowhere near done. Been doing a lot of work on the weathering on the carapace first and foremost. Also, you'll notice that he has a Imperial Knight base now, rather than the round base you get with the Glotkin. Gotta thank Mr. Zach Hawks for that. You guys should go and follow him on the old Instagram and see what he has to offer. Really nice chap. He donated this Imperial Knight base to me, and he even customised it. We've got a bit of warning, wide load, and he's also moist as well. And he also, let me just email you for a second. He also put a little thing in as well up there, as you can see. So I was quite chuffed at that. That's going to stay on the wall forever. It's a little note there. If you guys ever send me anything and want to send little notes or little bits for my wall, then please do. I like wall things to go on my wall of walls. It is very nice to have wall stuff so you can display it on your wall. But anyway, I digress. So here we have the Glot Knight, the fusion of a Great Unclean One and an Imperial Knight. Oh, I've actually forgot something as well. He also has a little tree that goes in there as well. I mean, with the tree, he becomes absolutely huge. He becomes way taller than an Imperial Knight. We're just going to get a bit of a zoom and a bit of a pan on the go here. So, as you can see, I don't know where to start, really. So I'll be completely honest with you. I'll start with the beginning. So, initially, I started off by painting the majority of the carapace separately. So, I tried to paint the top part of the carapace and the shoulder pads separate. Used many different effects. We've got rust-coloured paint, we've got brasses, we've got bronzes in there, we've got many washes, we've got Vallejo rust wash in there, we've got AK interactive rust effects, we've even got some dusted pigments on there, which I'll just zoom in. Those are those bits here, which just to make it look a little bit more rusty and give it that kind of like powdery, rusty texture that rust gets. I'm now aware that I've said rust about 1,000,000 times. But anyway, so I tried to do that. For the skin, I decided to follow what I did with my Great Unclean One, so a mixture of different greens, then washed back to kind of bring it all together, then highlighted with some stuff. Again, nowhere near done. I've got loads of little details like here on his belly, and oh shit, his tree's falling off, and a load of stuff like here that I need to do. It's slow going. One of the things that I've also started doing, which I quite like, I used to just paint all tentacles and stuff one colour and keep the mouths the same. I like doing the mouths like this really dark, kind of like pale purple kind of colour inside. Just differentiates it nicely from the tentacles over there. So, moving on. In regards to things like his tree, which we've got going on here, I struggled initially with the tree because the brown that I used for the tree bark was very similar to the rust that is on the carapace. Now, I had to kind of darken it down and wash it back and use some greens in there because I needed it to be different visually from the carapace. Otherwise, it just wouldn't stand out. And also, I decided, well, I didn't decide, one of my followers decided to point out that the actual heads, I was just going to do them green, like the Plague Bearer there. And speaking of which, take a look at those juicy, oh, shit, those juicy pustules on there. They look really nice and really virulent. I'm pretty chuffed with how they came out. But yeah, and one guy suggested, why don't you do the faces like flesh, like dead flesh, rather than green? So I was like, okay, cool. And he was right. They're nice. They stand out. They make it a little bit less like I've just stuck to one colour palette, which is pretty cool. And we've got the Mark of Nurgle there, and then we've got the awesome little tentacles coming out, and I tried to keep the tentacles the same as the pustules, or the pustules on the tentacles the same as the pustules on the tree trunks, just to, again, to tie it in and unify it a little bit. We got some little golden bells on there, and then I still need to do this little face mouth thing. Focus, damn you! Need to do focus, for fuck's sake. I need to do this little face mouth something. I think I'll probably do that pink as well, again, just to tie it into the tentacles coming out. But looking really cool nonetheless. So that's his tree. I'm going to keep it separate, so literally it's a case of I can just pop it in there like that for game purposes, and then when I'm not using it for transport I can just whip it out like that. Oh, whipping out my Nurgle tree, giggity 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 goo. And then I'm just gonna readjust the camera. So that's him on the front. On the back, I kind of did some work on his wings. I kind of did. No, I've ruined the surprise. On the wings, I kind of tried to do like a two-tone effect using different washes and like some wet blending and stuff. I like the way it turned out. It kind of looks like he's got like two different pigments inside the wing membranes, which is I'm pretty chuffed with that. Can't tell whether I'm going to leave them matte or whether I'm going to gloss those up. Not entirely sure. Other things as well. Then the little the appendages that hold the wing. I kind of did those the same as the little. Spider claws, little fly claws here going up, again just to tie them into the whole insect feel to it. And that's pretty much where I'm at currently with the grey and clean one. It's mainly, the colours are mainly blocked in now. I've just got a lot, and I mean a fucking lot of detailing to do. But yeah, so that's him kind of talked about. The next thing I'm going to show you is something really cool. What I've decided that I'm going to do. You guys know that I'm making, well, I want to do an Imperial Knight Knightly house. So as a result, here is a naked knight, as you can see here. Basically, didn't want to do a whole repaint because I thought to myself, why should I have to repaint the whole fucking thing if I only need to repaint some of the carapace? And for you guys that have been looking at the Instagram, you will see, you'll have already ideas and little sneak peeks of what I have been up to. Speaking of which, you can follow the Instagram and be part of that cool kids club, the cool kids club, the club for cool kids or whatever, I don't know. It's in the link in the doobly-doo down below, link to my Instagram. Go follow it, only takes 5 seconds, I will wait. 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4 potato, 5 potato. Boom! You should have done it by now, guys. Anyway, right, so I've decided to go for a bit of a carapace change. Previously, this knight was blue, and I want them to be very vibrant and to stand out quite a bit on the battlefield. So I have decided to go for this kind of a colour scheme over here. Let's just leave, fucking move that there so I can display that a little bit better. But yeah, as you can see, I've gone for a very juicy, very crunchy-licious, very nice looking emerald green colour, guys. Now, as for how this colour is done, unfortunately, guys, I'm not going to tell you because that is a trade secret, one that I was sworn to secrecy about from the almighty painting god that is Moggy's Miniatures. But yeah, how awesome is this colour scheme? It looks super crunchy and super juicy and super funky fresh. Really happy with it. It's going to look really cool on the actual knight. Obviously, I need to do the carapace on the weapon casings, the emerald green as well. So I'm going to have to do some amount of repaints, but however, I do remember with this knight, it is magnetised, so that is going to make that a lot easier. But really cool. I mean, I love how juicy the green turned out. Let me just zoom in a little bit. It's like a proper nice, glossy, candy metallic colour. And then it was framed in like a bronze kind of colour as well. Again, I asked on the Instagram, you know, what colour should I do for the trim and stuff, and most people said bronze, so I went with bronze, and I like it. It just adds that extra little nice bit of framing to that juicy, crunchy green. But I'm thinking, because ultimately I want to have a bunch more, just look at that shine, look at that shimmer, it's fucking beautiful. Ultimately, I want to have a bunch of knights, so I've ordered a Knight Warden, which I believe now is the only knight kit you can get. You can't get the Knight Paladin anymore, because of reasons, I guess. Probably because they weren't selling any, because everyone was just buying the Warden kit, because it's like an extra tenner and you get extra weapons and shit like that. But anyway, I want to have, I'm going to have this guy who's a Knight, is he a Knight Errant or a Knight Paladin? He's one of those two. Then I want one of the wards, so I want to have one that's got the Power Fist and then the Gatling gun and the rocket pod on top. And then I'm going to have, is it the Knight Castellan, which is the new big one that's coming out? And I can almost pretty much confirm it is a brand entire new kit. It looks very similar to the other Imperial Knight kit at a glance, just with extra stuff, like maybe an extra sprue chucked in there. However, people have done some measuring and some funky calculation, math hammery type stuff, and it does appear that it's actually physically larger than these Imperial Knights. So I'm going to have one of these guys, one of the other one that I've got. I'm going to have Knight Paladin or Knight Errant, can't remember which one. I'm going to have a Knight Warden, and then I'm going to have that Knight Castellan, and then I want to have 3 of the Knight Armigers running around as well. So that will be my knightly house, and they're all going to be in this absolutely delicious metallic candy green. And I think I finally found a name for them, because I was thinking to myself for ages, what shall I do? What shall I call these guys? I was like, I was thinking Knights of the something, Knights of the, and I was like, green, I can't, Knights of the green, Knights of the Emerald, it's like an emerald green, and I was like, Knights of the Green Veil, Knights of the Green, and I was like, what is a group of knights? And apparently, a group of knights is called, well, some people call it a banner of knights, so these guys are going to be called the Knights of the Emerald Banner. Oh, how cool does that sound, guys? It sounds amazing. Knights of the Emerald Banner, form up. We have smiting to do in the name of the Emperor of Mankind. But yeah, so that's what they're going to be called. Knights of the Emerald Banner. So that's pretty sure. It didn't actually take me too long to do this effect as well, but sadly I can't tell you how it's done. It's a trade secret that I promised that I would keep. But anyway, guys, I'm going to show you one more thing. It's another little side project that I have embarked upon. You guys know I love my Nurgle stuff. We're going back to Nurgle now. It's a case of I've always kind of wanted a Nurgle planetary defense force. You know, like a corrupted PDF. I had loads of Imperial Guard tanks knocking around, so I was like to myself, well, I would very, very much like to do some corrupted guardsmen. So I got my tanks out, and I decided that I would Nurgle them all up a little bit with some lots of delicious, juicy, crunchy, fresh rust effects. And I also tried my hand at some stencils as well, as you guys can see. Hold on, let me just. Wow, it's like there's too many tanks to show. I've also got a basilisk that I need to do with this effect, and maybe my Minotaur, but I'm not entirely sure on it. But yeah, guys, I'm just going to zoom in a touch. As you can see, didn't do an awful lot, just added a fuck ton of rust effects. In regards to that, it was mainly the Vallejo Rust Wash and the AK Interactive Rust effects, and then I tried my hand at some stencils. Now, they kind of didn't turn out as well as I wanted to. There's some of them that are better than others, such as this one here. Turned out reasonably crispy. However, there's ones like that one right there that just turned into a big green mess. You can only vaguely see what it was. But I tried some whatever you call it, inline stencils and some outline stencil. An example of that is here. So I think we've got an outline stencil, and then here we've got an inline stencil. Just the standard 3, blobs of Nurgle, as I call them. I'm going to also go over the guns and stuff and give them a bit of a light dry brushing of silver just to make them pop a little bit, and also do some more weathering on the missiles here. I didn't really want to do much on the missile. I might change these ends to yellow ends rather than red, because the yellow would fit, I think, more especially with the green kind of Nurgle graffiti that I've got going. But yeah, guys, so that's my idea. I'm thinking that I might get some guardsmen in along this as well, but I kind of want it to be a very armoured tank line, just sitting at the back firing at stuff. My ideas mainly are to use the cultists from Frostgrave, because they have a great Nurgly appearance. And in regards to other ones as well, I've picked up the Macrocosm Infested Insurgents guys, or whatever it is that they're called. And they are quite nice as well, but might be a little bit out of my price range. The Frostgrave Cultists, you get like 20 in a box, as opposed to the same price for the Macrocosm stuff. And it's you get like a quarter of the amount of guys. So that's that in regards to what I'm going to do. I think I want to definitely do some Plague Ogryns, but my main idea is to have, for the Commissars, like really big fat Nurgle guys, using like the Nurgle Blight Kings, and adding some Imperial bits to them. I think that would be really, really cool. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I have been a rather busy bee. My battery's about to die, so I'm going to have to go, guys. So, hopefully, you guys have enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys again. See you next episode of Adventures All the Time. And don't forget to like, favourite, and subscribe, all that bollocks. And also, don't forget to check out the Instagram links in the doobly-doo down below. Thank you very much for watching. Okay, guys, bye! Bye-bye. Bye. Goodbye, friends.